Happy Halloween, dudes. Happy Devil's Night, my nerds. It is I, your spooky guide to all the tabletop role-playing game news, weather, and general internet nonsense. And you can hear the wind blowing as the Santa Anas bombard us here at Site B. It is Monday. It is the 30th day of October 2023. Let's get our spookies on because it's time to look at the tabletop role-playing game news of the week. That's right. It's time to consult the Oracle, take out our SEXtent, and chart our course and go, hey, universe, what tabletop role-playing game nonsense are you going to toss at it this week? And of course, the number one story, what a surprise, Wizards of the Coast. So Wizards of the Coast announced over the weekend that, hey, the Deck of Many Things book has been delayed because of manufacturing issues. Now, this won't affect the digital Book of Many Things. So if you have already pre-purchased it ahead of time, you will receive the digital Book of Many Things tomorrow at some point in time. So you'll get the digital thing of the Book of Many Things. If you haven't purchased it yet by tomorrow, you can get it on Tuesday, November 14th. So if you go on to D&D Beyond after, I guess, midnight tonight, and still want to get the digital, it'll be available to you Tuesday, November 14th. That is a huge gap. Was that the biggest, as big as the gap was last time between pre-purchase and non-pre-purchase for people? I don't think so. And then of course you don't get the physical one if you pre-purchase it after tomorrow. So if you pre-purchase it before, you get the physical book and the digital tomorrow. If you didn't, then you can pay for the digital book and it'll show up on the November 14th, and you'll have to pay for the physical book separate. So when do we know the physical book is going to be in there? And what about the cards? Because there's no mention of the cards. Let's see if we have an update. We got some reviews of it for the few people that received a copy ahead of time. The only complaint seems to be packaging. So what is the manufacturing issue? And what about the cards? Do you get the digital cards? It says Book of Many Things. It says you get the digital Book of Many Things tomorrow. It doesn't say anything about the cards. So don't know. I guess the cards would be presented as a PDF that you would download, print out onto cardstock if you want to do it. But I don't know if you can download stuff from D&D Beyond. That would sort of go against their whole thing. So maybe there is no digital cards. Does anybody know? I know the Amazon one, you get the cards and everything. Also, from numbers wise, it looks like more people are ordering it from Amazon than they are directly from Wizards, even though they have to wait and they don't get the digital. So maybe people are ordering the digital through Wizards and the physical through Amazon. And as for the physical, you definitely get the cards. But the digital, I don't know. It doesn't, I assume you get some digital version of the cards. Maybe it's an app. I mean, how hard would it be to make an app that randomly generates draws from the Deck of Many Things, the new one? I mean, there already are dozens of apps that people have made over the years to do normal Deck of Many Things and randomly generate Deck of Many Things sites on the interweb. So I don't think it would be that hard for Wizards to just say, here's the digital game book, and here's the thing. You click that, it randomly spits out a card or two. Now, if it was anybody else, I'd say that's totally the best way to do it. It's like, what, 10 minutes of coding to make an app that when you log on to D&D Beyond with your digital book, you get access to an app. You click the app, it randomly generates 1 through 4 cards, and then it tells you what each card does or where to consult the book. Otherwise, you have to wait for the physical one. So if we were dealing with any other company, that would be totally make sense to me, and I would think that's what they would do. But since it's Wizards, who the fuck knows? I guess we won't know till tomorrow. Now, specifically, it says Book of Many Things again. So does that mean there will be a separate Book of Many Things and Deck of Many Things collection, so you can get the $100 one with the deck and the book, or if you just want the book, there'll be a cheaper just book eventually. Again, don't know. We don't know what the manufacturing issue is. It could be a packaging issue, because several of the reviews for the people who already have gotten it have said there were some issues with the packaging. It could be printing issues. It could be AI art. At least one article I read was that, oh no, they accidentally discovered AI art again in the artwork of the physical books, but then they would have taken that out of the digital book and mentioned it. So maybe, it could just be as simple as shipping. That, there's a manufacturing issue between getting it from wherever it is being made over to wherever, Amazon or wherever, and then to you. So, I bring it up almost every week that, like every other company, Hasbro Wizards has to deal with the digital conversion and the fact that the reason why shipping and production is now a thing, could be a storm, whatever. So could be that there was less, if it was Wizards, conspiracy, maybe they got less orders than they thought they were going to get, so they're delaying the physical till they get enough orders to make it worthwhile for them to print them out. And they're just saying manufacturing issues because it's Wizards. It's like you can't not think about that they're just doing something underhanded. But more likely than not, it could be maybe there's more orders than they expected, less orders than they expected. Something happened with the thing. There's if you go back through the history of Magic the Gathering, there was constantly issues, especially with the early days of misprints and the printers not being able to, make the cards. I mean, the green card with a blue mana cost. I think it's a Djinn. That's, because that was a misprint. There's the misprinted mountain. So it could have just been that. They printed out the things and then they went, oh, wait, that's whatever. I don't know. There's definitely some conspiracies already out there why it was delayed. And I've read 2 or 3 different ones as to the actual real reason. But if you've already pre-purchased it on Blizzard's, you're fine, because you'll get the digital one tomorrow. And if anybody gets it tomorrow, let me know what's going on with the cards. Because I would say, again, if it's any other gaming company, they just have an app. Because it's Wizards, who the hell knows? Moving on to things that have nothing to do with Wizards. So, our friends at Critical Role were across the pond in jolly old England, as you know. And they did a huge thing at, was it Wembley? Wembley. Sold out Wembley Arena in London, performing for over 12,000 people in doing a live Mighty Nine play. So here's the picture. Is this the because Wembley has an outdoor and indoor. I don't know if this is the outdoor one or the indoor one. This looks like Wembley's indoor stadium. So this is the one AEW sold out as well. And they were doing Mighty Nine. So I guess there's Laura dressed up like Jester. There's them all at this table looking all vaguely medieval. So yeah, Wembley Arena, Wembley Stadium. Wembley Arena is the 9th largest indoor arena. So which is the one that AEW sold out? Was it the arena or stadium? I think they sold out the stadium, which is more than WrestleMania. That was their big thing. You can see a couple people cosplaying as Jester in here. But oh, look, empty seats. That's not a good sign. There's the orchestra pit. And then they had it projected on a screen. And I'm sure people, speakers for people good and seeing. So yeah, it doesn't say what the scenario was other than it was Mighty Nine. And they sold it out. So I guess congratulations to Wembley and them. Anything other knows that has anything to do with Wizards of the Coast? Crucible 7 has released a successful Kickstarter for their Life Well Lived. This is the first product for their 5e retro clone, C7D20. You will note that C7D20 still hasn't been made, and we still know nothing about it, but that doesn't seem to be stopping them from releasing product for a non-existing tabletop role-playing game engine. Way to go, guys! And then the rest of the news is, again, Wizards. Wow. And some Pathfinder news. So Pathfinder news. How is the Pathfinder Society going to deal with the changes to Pathfinder and Starfinder? Because we know we've got Starfinder Remastered coming out. Then we've got Starfinder 2nd Edition coming out. Then we have Pathfinder 2E Remastered coming out. So if you're in the Pathfinder Society, you probably already know the answers to these. And if you're not in the Pathfinder Society, it sounds like with through the various partnerships and stuff, it'll be a slow rollout. But you'll get stuff before the general public is, just as like, DM's Guild does with Adventurers League, where Adventurers League often gets access to adventures and product before the regular public does. And there are very specific things made just for Adventurers League that if you're not in the Adventurers League and not on DM's Guild, you'll never see. So, there's a whole other world of D&D product out there that maybe many people don't know about because it's Adventurers League, DM's Guild only, but still technically official. Same with this. So there's a whole bunch of, Pathfinder, Starfinder stuff out there that if you're not aware of the Pathfinder, Starfinder Adventurers League, you might not know this stuff exists. So it reads like there's going to be a slow rollout. They're giving people the warning, like what Wizards of the Coast didn't do. They're presenting people with an ongoing list of the changes, unlike Wizards of the Coast. And then they're giving people a very clear calendar of when the transition from Starfinders to Starfinder Remastered and what the new rules will be, and from Pathfinder 2E to Pathfinder 2E Remastered and how it will affect the organized play. Home play, you can do whatever the fuck you want, but organized play has to follow a very specific set, and there reads like they're just, here we go. Here's what we do. Here's when things will happen. Here's how you're going to convert things. Here's what's still going to remain legal, and here's what's not going to remain legal. A very gentle, slow rollout. Kind of like you should handle this situation. Moving on again to Wizards of the Coast news. Of course, we have the sneak peek from Gamehole Con we've got to talk about. What's going on with Gamehole Con? How much, if anything, that we saw at Gamehole Con was true. So as you know, Chris Perkins made a surprise appearance at Gamehole Con. It was supposed to be like a 20-minute long talk about something Wizards of the Coast related. Then Chris Perkins is like, kick it. He did an impromptu Wizards of the Coast Trivial Pursuit challenge, and then he gave us some hints of what the future for 5e might or might not be. We definitely know that all the new 5e books for 2024 will be expanded and reorganized and have new art. Look, every one of them, new art, new art, new art. Averaging of 70 new pieces of art per product, one of which will no doubt mistakenly be discovered to be AI art. Yeah. Oops. How'd that get in there again? That must have been the day Susan was off. Yep. So new two things. There's some new spells. Who cares? New art. There'll be a bunch of handouts available with the DM's Guild. More slice of life magic items in the new DM's Guild magic items, similar to like the Xanthor's magic items, like the pipe of bubbles. You'll clearly handing the stats of magic items that have appeared in D&D cartoons, like the magic missile bow that we saw, or the Cavalier's totally useless shield. Yeah, it's just a shield that blocks attacks, so it does exactly what a shield's supposed to do. And then we have this mysterious picture. So we've got a rod thing, which made some people think rod of 7 parts, except it's only 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. could be that one, it could just be a normal wand, or it could be parts of the Rod 7 parts. So that's a maybe. Then we got this, which I've told is a hint to something called the Endless Stair, which I guess is a D&D adventure. I've never heard of that one, but I'm sure there's hundreds of D&D adventures I've never heard of, so that doesn't mean anything. This one should be highly recognizable. That's Tassojonath. Does that mean they're bringing back Tassojonath in 2024? That would be an unusual choice, unless they're doing a anniversary homage collection like they did with Tales of the Yawning Portal. So Tales of the Yawning Portal, had a whole bunch of 5e conversions of classic adventures, including White Plume Mountain and Tomb of Horrors, which were later, revisited in larger versions or whatever, but they just sort of had this hodgepodge of famous adventures. So it could be that they're doing that. One of the pictures also is apparently a rabbit on a stump, which is a obscure reference to Expedition to the Barrier Peaks, which would be an unusual choice for them to revisit for 5e. But maybe. What about Vecna? Of course, yeah. What about Vecna? You guys have hinted that Vecna is going to be the arcing storyline for 2024, and the machinations of Vecna will be what you used. Maybe, I'm not definite about this, to explain the transition from 2023 D&D to 2024 D&D. But other than that, we know nothing. And also, Wizards is doing their annual Adopt a Classroom program. So if you work for a school and want to maybe get some Wizards of the Coast product, they're doing the Adopt a Classroom product this year. Again, the education thing, doing a lot bigger version of it. I don't know if I can trick them into convincing them I'm an educator again this year, like we did with the stuff we received last year, but can't hurt to try. And that's it for all the tabletop role-playing game news, weather, and general internet nonsense for the week. If any of those stories sound interesting to you, let me know. We will see how the week rolls out with the news from Wizards and Paizo, and if any of the other game companies take notice. You would think getting this close to the embarkation date of 2024, we would start seeing more news from the other companies of how they're going to compete with Dungeons & Dragons 2024. Or you could also just think, well, they're waiting to see. Maybe every other game company has learned from Wizards of the Coast mistakes and is like, okay, let's just see what these guys do. And then we'll base our battle plan on how well, or more likely, how poorly things roll out after they put out the new Player's Handbook. When's that coming out? Don't know, but it's definitely coming out sometime in 2024. Manufacturing issues notwithstanding. I'm the OGGM. If you appreciate this nonsense, never let me know. If you don't appreciate this nonsense, let me know. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, please subscribe. You still have a couple of weeks to help me hit 2,000 subs by the end of 2023. And above all, remember, support the OGGM by buying my amazing merch. Links down below. I'll talk to you later. Stay safe out there. It's windy.